Good afternoon, and thank you for having us here today. We are the Bayou Bengal Builders, also known as BBB, and we would like to present to you the Hyatt Regency Salt Lake. To introduce ourselves, my name is Madison Baglio, and I will be your project executive, also known as the general manager of the hotel.
My name is Colin Gillet. I'm the pre-con manager, and they call me the booking agent.
My name is Aaron Balaklock. I'm your senior superintendent, also known as the concierge.
My name is Laura Lee Sturdivant. I'm your safety manager, also known as the head of security.
So here at Bayou Bengal Builders, we like to evaluate ourselves as a company in order to show you, the owner, our evaluations. So we will go over our history, qualifications, approach, and past performance to show you that we are the premium team that will offer your projects the premium results.
So let's look at BBB at a glance. So we are proud to be 100% employee owned, and we just celebrated our 30th year of working in Salt Lake City. We wanted to highlight some of our past projects behind us, all of which I've had the pleasure of working on. Starting in the top left, the Hilton Cleveland downtown is a 28-story hotel with just around 600 rooms. This project sits on a very similar site, making site organization and just-in-time delivery crucial for this project. Moving to 1401 Lawrence, this project is 22 stories of cast-in-place concrete. On this project, BBB self-performed all concrete, placing right around 24,000 cubic yards. We focused a lot on the embeds, as coordination around the embeds, as well as concrete delivery to ensure success. For all of these projects, we were able to not only deliver the project on time, but under budget.
So here's a quick overview of our team on site for the duration of the project, as well as our support staff and pre-con. Here at BBB, we're going to bring our A team to you on this project, with us having all of this past experience in similar projects, as well as our commitment to safety, as we know the surrounding areas of the Hyatt Regency has heavy foot and car traffic, as well as the events going on year-round at the convention center. We have extensive executive support and strong trade partner relationships in Salt Lake City as well. So every project here at BBB, we like to approach it with our BBB decision tree, with safety at the forefront and building on that with quality, schedule, and lastly, costs. So with that, I will hand it over to our safety manager, Laura Lee, to cover the safety portion.
Here at Bayou Bengal Builders, safety is our number one priority. We understand that the convention center next door is 100% open. With that, we have developed these four potential hazards, with our main focus being on heavy foot and car traffic. To mitigate this risk, we will have the site properly fenced and signage posted around. We will have all employees have to have an ID badge to enter the job site, and we will allow special deliveries if necessary. Now, let's look at BBB safety excellence. We have 88 safety inspection on all hospitality jobs in the past 3 years. We have also had 0 lost time incidents on all hospitality jobs. Now, as you can see, that safety is our number one priority. We have developed the site logistics plan as shown on the right, with 2 tower cranes and 1 crawler crane and a general hoisting elevator on the south side of the building. Now, I'm going to turn over to Aaron to go over excavation.
During the pre-construction phase of this project, BBB identified excavation to be a major logistical stage due to not only the amount of excavation, but also the amount of material that needs to be moved off-site. We have developed our excavation plan to help manage the excavation on this project, as well as have provided shoring due to the depth of elevation. Now moving into quality. For this project, we are implementing our 5-star quality plan, which we have broken out into reservation, suite preparation, white glove inspection, check-in, and concierge support. Through this, BBB has been able to create a culture that we've based on learning from our mistakes to better our people and our practices every day. Through this, we're able to reduce rework, minimize punch list, and mitigate future warranty claims. Now moving to our schedule with Madison.
Thank you, Aaron. Plan your stay here at the Hyatt Regency Salt Lake with me. First, we'll start off with valet, and then we'll move on to check you into your room. And then we'll go on to room service, fresh linens. You have to receive your continental breakfast, of course, and then we'll close out and check out. So to zoom in on some of these phases, we'll start off with site work at the parking garage. at your phase 1 valet, and then we'll move up to phase 2 check-in, which is the most extensive phase throughout the schedule, as it has a larger square footage with a lot of finishes in the ballroom. And as we move up, we kind of have more of a speedy duration, closing out onto phase 6 checkout. So here at Bayou Bengal Builders, our area supers will have pool planning meetings and preparatory meetings with our trade partners. Our pool planning meetings work when our area supers have our trade partners together and ask them what needs to happen in order to overcome this next major milestone. So they'll work through that together, and this offers our trade partners um, extensive awareness of what's going on around them, as well as we will be keeping transparent with you, the owner, with our Friday packs, with our project engineers and interns, putting those together to give you all our progress reports and estimate reports weekly. So here's a quick overall duration of the schedule. We will be completed in 36 months on January 31st, just in time for the NBA All-Star Game. 14 days later will be our notice to proceed for the additional restaurant build out, which will be a total duration of 6 months. Now I will hand it over to Colin to cover the cost portion.
Thank you, Madison. Here at BBB, we value honesty and transparency. So in order for me to present our number to you, I like to pull up some historical cost data with our past project, the Hilton Downtown Cleveland. Both projects are high-end luxury hotels with extensive curtain wall system and post-tension slab towers. So I felt comparing these two would be best. With adjustment for inflation, the Hilton was running about $460 per square foot, and your Hyatt Regency right now is running at $450 per square foot. With most of that being the M&P package being about 28% of this, putting the whole project to a value of over $307 million. At BBB, we self-perform concrete, and since most of the structural component of this is concrete, and our self-perform unit has poured over 100,000 cubic yards of concrete in the last year, we feel that with the experience that we have and the coordination and the ability to keep costs down, that we feel our self-performing aspect is best for this job. And also, we like to offer some value engineering options to you guys after the notice for award to help cut down costs afterwards. We like to present alternative finishes that can get costs down about 10% and present prefabrication and modular systems that can help fast track the schedule and keep costs down in the long run. And with that, I'd like to close this out with Madison.
Thank you, Colin. So based on our past performance and experience, we believe that BBB is your #1 trip advisor, and we will bring you our premium team with premium results. We are extremely eager to start this project with you all. With our history, 100% employee owned and 30 plus years building in the city of Salt Lake, as well as with our qualifications and staffing plan, we will be your #1 trip advisor with our CEO right up the road in our office in Salt Lake. In our approach with the BBB decision tree, we'll stay organized to make sure the whole project goes as planned. And with our past performance and experience, we have extensive design bid build experience. And with our past projects being extremely similar to the Hyatt Regency, we believe we are the best contractor for you. So with that, we bring to you the Hyatt Regency Salt Lake. Thank you, and go build.
Hi, I've got a question for you. Can you guys elaborate on what kind of technologies and softwares you intend to use on this project?
That's a great question. Our superintendent, Aaron, can answer that for you.
Definitely. For software, we're going to utilize Procore for a lot of our tracking. We obviously also used Edify during the estimate phase to help to create our cost estimate. During the quality, we also use drones and BDC to help track and plan our construction activities.
What do you see as the #1 biggest project challenge you see on our project, and how do you plan to mitigate it?
That's a great question. One of our biggest things that we plan to mitigate is the safety surrounding the site. So I can hand it over to our safety manager, Laura, to elaborate on that.
Thank you. So our biggest challenge is with the convention center being 100% open. We have allowed proper fencing around the site, and we'll have gate workers at every gate. We know that with big events such as the Salt Lake Girls Qualifier coming up, that we will need the amount of security that we have allowed it for.
Question in the back right here. What would you, how how would you approach losing a key team member, one of you, say, midway through the project during putting the structure up?
Thank you for your question. We will approach that in a way of getting back with our team at our Salt Lake office and transferring one of our personnel from a project in another area. Because we don't have a lot of backlog in the city of Salt Lake, we will have enough personnel to come and take in that spot.
Right over here. I want to make sure that we're getting, the best value for the project. How can you assure me and involve me in the process of buying out the project? What would your process be to buy this project out?
That's an excellent question. Our pre-con manager, Colin, can answer that for you.
With when putting this project out to trade partners, we had these conversations to try to get competitive pricing and reaching out to multiple in each scope to make sure we have level bids to scoping out, make sure everything's in line with what we're seeing. And we like to have the conversation with you as the owner to handle most of the procurement early on, to lock in these prices early on and not worry about escalation of prices down the line.
I've got one here. So we're still working with our neighbors to get air rights to work with the configuration that you show with your tower cranes. If we're able to get the air rights from our neighbors, do you have an alternate means and methods for cranings to support the project?
Thank you for your question. Our superintendent, Aaron, can answer that one for you.
At the moment, we've been working with our office staff to plan other options. So that's still kind of things that are ongoing within our office. So as we get further along in the plan or moving towards construction activities, we can further assist you.
So I noticed in your proposal that you mentioned you're going to incorporate modular construction and you're going to have a separate laydown yard for that. Can you walk me through which scopes and what that modularity will look like?
I appreciate your question. Colin, our pre-con manager, can answer that, and Aaron, our superintendent, will elaborate on it.
So we'd like to, with our laydown site across the street, we would like to pre-build and prefabricate most of the MEP scope, any of those components that we can build off-site and then just crane it on to the site later on, rather than building it on-site to help keep workers off as much as we can and fast-track our schedule.
Specifically with MEP, one thing we really identified, given though that most of the rooms are kind of duplicated with the same layout and have the same electrical infrastructure, is modular or prefabricating some of the electrical junction boxes with the MC cable coming off of them to the outlets already. That way, once we get to site, we can mount the junction box, run the wire, and then terminate it at the outlet, saving time.
I'm so excited that you brought up electrical. It joys my heart. So, there's about, 15 to 18 data centers scheduled to be built in Utah over the 3-year period that you guys are going to be building this building. I'm sure you're aware that we are seeking other bidders on the project. You're not our only team in the fight. And to be honest, I'm not super impressed with their ability to deliver switchgear and electrical components on time with these other giant builds coming in. So outside of working with your partners and early submittals, how are you going to compete with Meta and Google on getting us the electrical switchgear that we need to get this building fired up? I'm very curious on creative solution.
I appreciate that question. Because we have extensive relationships with these trade partners close with us that we've done past experience with before, we really will lean on them because of our past experiences with them. We've been through that. We've done that before. Aaron can probably elaborate on the MEP side as well. We know these people in Salt Lake City very well, and we know they won't let us down.
Definitely. Our trade partners also move volume. So because they move a certain amount of switchgear, it is a lot easier for them to procure it, which definitely helps us ensure that we are able to get the switchgear we need in the time we need, making it available for the project.
Question up here for you. Based off of your response to addendum number 3, it looks like the restaurant build out will be completed after the All-Star game. Is there any opportunity to have that restaurant completed by the All-Star game?
That's a great question. There is opportunity for us to fit it in the schedule. If there was a chance for us to finish that by the All-Star game, we would have to just increase our manpower, which I don't see a problem with because of our past relationships with these trade partners.
Can you explain the logic behind 2 tower cranes being necessary? And then when you guys bring in the third crawler crane, how are you guys going to ensure that that work can take place safely?
Thank you for your question. Aaron, our superintendent, can elaborate on that one for you.
Because of the amount of activities going on during the construction of the tower, as well as over to the podium, we feel the need of 2 tower cranes will help boost productivity. We're bringing in the third crawler crane to assist in the steel erection, specifically the heavy trusses. In order to do this safely, we've included full shoring systems to help support it because we have to walk the tower crane over the parking garage. We're also utilizing flaggers to keep people aware of the surrounding lifts.
I can also elaborate on the safety section. So we're going to allow only a qualified rigger to rig the equipment in the tower cranes to ensure that we keep the pedestrians safe at all times.
I have a question on the crane. As the owner, I don't know if we're real comfortable with taking a crawler crane on our structure, which will be our finished lobby. What's an alternative plan to erect the steel versus a crawler crane?
I appreciate that question. Aaron, our superintendent, can answer that one for you.
Definitely. So during the pre-construction phase, we identified this as an issue, and we started looking at options such as erecting the steel with a crane from outside of the building's footprint. We would just have to upsize the crane, and during our proposal, we chose to go with the smaller crane due to not only cost, but also the availability in the region.
In your proposal, we did not see an EMR. So can you tell me what your EMR is?
Thank you for your question. Our safety manager, Laura can go over that one for you.
Yes, our EMR rate is 0.86.
Right up here, front left. Quality control wise, what scopes do you think are most important in the quality control area of the project, and how are you going to mitigate any issues with that?
I appreciate your question. Aaron, our superintendent, can answer that one for you.
Some of the major ones we feel definitely are MEP, especially with the future commissioning that's going to go on with the project. We're going to mitigate any risk really through our inspection process that starts before we install the material, making sure that we are only installing material that is ready to go, good quality, and then leads all the way through to commissioning, ensuring that the product that we are turning over is 100%.
Question over here. So we have budget concerns on our end, so we're trying to get there. So I'm really glad you guys brought some value engineering options. You mentioned we could save about 10% for finishes and modular. So what do you think are the trade-offs we need to be aware of to get to that?
That's a great question. Colin, our pre-con manager, can answer that for you.
So some of the biggest concerns with going with the V options, especially regarding the finishes, is most likely limiting the amount of custom millwork in favor for more FF&E items, or just instead of elaborate finishes like wallpaper or carpet, going for more LVT or just regular paint. So the small compromises might be just more the interior design intent, but other than that, not much.
Got one right here. Can you share with us the percentage of your profit that's going to go to LSU's NIL to help Lane Kiffin win the national championships?
Like 50.
A question back in the back right. Regarding subcontractor bid coverage, which divisions of work did you guys receive the least number of bids on, and what did you do to try to get additional bids?
Thank you for your question. Colin, our pre-con manager, can cover that one for you.
So like mentioned earlier, some of the struggles we have is with the electrical subcontractors, mostly like mentioned with the data centers coming. So the ones we reach out are the ones we have strong relations with. Those are kind of the ones that came more reliable to us. But regards finding others is just getting more input from industry partners around the area, just getting input on just other trades we can reach out for this type of project.
right here. How do you handle a subcontractor that's underperforming, like falling behind schedule?
I appreciate that question. We handle it by whenever a new trade partner comes onto site to mobilize, we'll have our preparatory meetings with them where they sign off on everything that they must complete for us, the dates, all of the meetings that they must attend, including our pool planning meetings. And if they do fall short, then it is their responsibility to bring their own, like, more manpower and increase materials, whatever they need to finish the job. And we have worked with them before again, so we don't feel that that will be necessary at all.
So I was looking at your self-performed scope. It's a pretty large scope at 40, a little over $40 million. What are you doing to ensure that the cost of that scope is competitive and in line with the market?
Thank you for your question. Our pre-con manager, Colin, can answer that one for you.
So when reaching out to trade partners, we also like to reach out to other concrete subs in the area to make sure that we keep our in-house unit in line with the market that's out there. So we don't just look at our self-performing, we look at the trade partners around the areas as well to make sure that we're level and we're getting competitive pricing for you.
Over here in the back right, I see in your general conditions, you've got safety incentive awards listed $1,500. What does that safety incentive award program look like, and what could we expect to see as you incentivize safety on this job?
I appreciate your question. Our safety manager, Lorley, can elaborate on that.
Yes. So we have a thing called safety cards, and they're like a little business card that we give out to that people and trade partners that we see that are performing safe. So at the end of every quarter, whoever has the most amount of safe cards, BBB would personally take them out to lunch, a choosing of their choice of lunch.
Colin, you want Jonah Hill to play you in a movie?
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite Jonah Hill movie?
Probably I'd say super bad.
That was the only answer. Thank you.
All right, I got one. Aaron, if you had one superpower to keep the schedule on track, what are you picking?
The ability to keep time or stop time. We did it. We did it.
I've got a question. Looking at your schedule, it looks like you guys are placing a lot of concrete in the middle of winter. What kind of measures are you putting in place to make sure that you can do cold weather placements?
Thank you for your question. Aaron, our superintendent, can elaborate on that one.
Definitely. So we've entered a lot or implemented a lot of cold weather procedures. We will not pour concrete when it's below the manufacturer or the yard's recommendations. But other than that, we're also covering the concrete after it's poured to help ensure it cures, make sure it stays at the proper temperature, and reach its full strength.
We have time for one more question.
Okay. Hi. Great job. We are interviewing 9 other companies for this project today. You had a slide that listed a lot of differentiators, but can you sum up in just give us one main reason why we should choose you?
I appreciate that question. I think you should choose us because we are eager to get the project started. We have the right people to get it done, and we just need your go ahead to go ahead with it. We're extremely excited. So thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.